Welcome back to Supernatural Signals, my haunted journal edition. If you're new here, this is kind of where I just like to yap about stuff that's usually supernatural focused, things that are happening that are spooky maybe in my life, as well as anything I want to talk about that's on my mind per the supernatural, per the universe, per journey, growthing, all that stuff, all that jazz, if you will, and just updates on my life and on the channel. And sometimes I talk about true crime and just honestly anything I want to yap about, but mostly towards the supernatural. With all that said, this video might be kind of all over the place because I'm starting to record it now because I have a terrible memory. And so I just want to start yapping about things that are on my mind. I do want to do updates on true crime, but I will probably do that towards the end because when I release this, I don't know when that is, and I want the most up to date on the cases I'm following. I am currently following the Tepe case, the David case, as well as um, the Reiner's case. So those are the main ones I am currently watching. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you are interested in that. But with that said, I'm going to kind of update things going on with me. Um, a couple videos ago. So the first thing I guess is in my last, I think it's my last video. We are talking about getting people to come and do a deep clean in the house, and it looks like we're doing pretty good with that so far. Poor Buddy has been like I said, Buddy's my dog, and we found him, or he found us, however you want to put it, in August of this year. So we don't know his history. We do know that he probably wasn't from a good background. We found him in the middle of our neighborhood, just like looking skinny, had some scars on him, and he was wearing this really big belt around his neck. It wasn't a collar, it was his belt. So obviously, I don't know where he came from, but I don't know if he escaped or someone just dumped him or whatever the case may be. But so I don't know his history, right? And if you've listened to any of these videos on this channel, you know he's a sensitive dog and he loves his home. So he's very like bashful when he's out and about. Like, he just like wants to go on his little walkies and be left alone, and like it's just, doing his own thing, and he likes to thing, but he loves his home. Like he like loves it. And so when we had and lately they've been a lot of construction in our area, whether there's something to do with a pipe or something in the front yard. So I don't know what they're doing with that. That's not my arena for this house, but something's going on with that. So construction people there, and then the neighbors moved in quite a while ago, and they're doing construction there because I think they were remodeling their whole house. And then, obviously we have yard people coming in and out. And then on top of that, we're getting the cleaning people. And poor Buddy, because again, he loves his home. He's territorial of his home, and he's cautious of new people, right? And so he's just been, poor little Buddy has just been, he's been a little stressed. So I've been trying to give him extra attention and thing. And yesterday he just kept barking because I think also when the cleaning people came, there was like new smells and stuff. And so he was a little anxious. And obviously, like I talked about in my other previous videos, I do think he senses things that we can't see. But uh other than that, I just kind of been like with him. The cleaning people are coming back um later on this week just because of scheduling. And so I'm going to try and balance that as well. He's fine. It's just, like I said, he's protective of his home. So we're working on that. And like I said, it just doesn't help that there's men all the time around this vicinity doing stuff. So he's just been a little like, get away from my home type vibe. So the funny thing is he's been fine with the construction for quite some time. Like he'll come and like run up to them once in a while and then like run back or whatever. And he's fine, but I think it's just been a lot for him. So like I said, I think having a dog is like knowing their personality, and he's the bestest dog in the world, but he's very protective of his people and he's very protective of his home. Kermit kind of likes that. And actually, I mentioned before how Kermit doesn't like him having a crate because I kind of told him that, like, I don't know, like he was just very, like, very, he was fine with the cleaning people, but he was very, like, I guess protective is the right word. And so I told Kermie, and Kirby was like, "That's good." And I don't want him to like not be happy or whatever. And Kirby's like, "No, it's just I think Kirby likes it that he's protective, right?" And Kermie sometimes works and goes on work trips and stuff, and so I think he likes having a dog that's out of the crate for protection, which I didn't even think about. And then I was like, "Baby, is that the reason?" And he's like, "There's multiple reasons." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." So dealing with that, but I'm very proud of Buddy because for all like the senses and things around his house lately, like I'm very proud of it because, like I said, he's a big homebody and he likes to go his little walkies and go straight home. That's his thing. So, um, there's some days that he won't even go outside because he's just like, I've said too many bad things, and he wants back inside. His home is his kingdom. So, and the people in it, he's very protective of. So, um, just working on that. Like I said, when you find a dog like that or you adopt the dog, you don't know what their background is, you don't know what they've been through, but it's definitely something that's very easy to handle. And my boyfriend's like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. Buddy's buddy." And he's a good boy. It's just that's what's been going on in my personal life. And it's new for me having people in my space as well, like letting people come in and do the cleaning and all that stuff. But that's been going good. The people did a great job. And I'm so grateful for people that are talented in that. So that's just been what's kind of going on in my day to day life. But yeah, I do want to touch briefly on my intentions for 2026 because I think it's sorry. I'm the cutest dog in the world. I really do. He just came running in with his bone in his mouth sticking out like a cigar. He's just so cute. Hi everybody, I'm Buddy. um he's my baby. But sorry, I'm giving my dog a hug. Podcasting can wait. In my baby. He's the bestest boy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay, go lay down. No, I want a podcast. Buddy, what do you think about the state of the world? Needs more love and more bones. Yes. Yes. I agree. He's so cute right now. Okay, buddy, hang on. I tried to get a good picture of him. I couldn't really, but just because of the angle. But I'll put a picture of him of what he looked like trotting in with his bone, and he just like has this little happy dance, and he has like this bone sticking out. I'm sorry, my dog's cute. Anyway, my cat's just sitting in her flower bed, not impressed. I love my pets very much, but I digress. um, so I guess what I wanted to talk about earlier, as I mentioned, was being kind of like intentional throughout the whole year of like bringing up my intentions for 2026. Like I said, resolutions is kind of like a tough word to say, like, I'm never going to do this and that and things like that. But just like my spiritual and personal goals, I guess, as a high overview, they've been going good so far. I mean, it's only the 14th when I'm recording this part anyway. And, you know, they've been going good. I talked about in a previous podcast of kind of giving something up just temporarily, just for like a little bit, um, to kind of get back in a good headspace and then get back into that when I'm ready. Which what that is it's kind of like a personal thing, but it was draining, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to take a step back from it and then revisit it later. And that actually has been really good. I thought it was something that it is something I really enjoy, but sometimes too much of a good thing can, ruin that good thing, right? So that's been going good. As far as I've been kind of like, I know it probably sounds annoying, but because I've said it so many times, but I kind of am really focusing on myself, especially the first half of the year. And then kind of my goal is like the second half of the year, kind of like, you know, combining, you know, combining being more of my old self where I'm like being helpful and stuff. But the first half of the year, at least, I'm going to be super intentional of choosing me. And that doesn't mean like being mean or like not doing anything, or like, you know what I mean? Like, but like doing things where it's like, okay, for instance, the cleaning thing. There could have been 100 excuses of me not getting the house clean, like price, saying like, oh, I just have work meetings, so I can't do it, like, and just not wanting to be uncomfortable having someone do this process for me, right? Or this project for me, but I still did it, right? And so I'm very proud of myself for doing that, and getting the ball rolling on it and just being like, all right, this is, it's overwhelming me. Let's just do it and get a process going so we can have a comfortable home, right? And so, um, yeah, so that I am very happy for, very appreciative of people that, again, have that skill set. I think it's a gone set because not everyone has that skill set. So, very appreciative of that. And I'm happy that I'm able to do it, right? Because, um, yeah, I'm just happy I'm able to do it, right? And like the other thing is like also choosing me. I'm just gonna give examples of me choosing me, right? So because I don't want people to think when I'm saying choosing me, where I'm just like, like me, like you know what I mean? Because I looked at my threads and I kind of put like something where I'm like, I'm choosing me this year, me, but like just like examples of how I'm practicing that. Like, um, I wasn't able to get out of the house for a while, and um, for again personal reasons, everyone has lives going on and things like that, but I wasn't able to get a house, and so I couldn't run some errands I needed to. And when I got Buddy, I feel very like, okay, I have to be like a perfect mom to this little baby because he came into my life when I really, really needed him. And I don't want him, he's my baby, right? And I want to like prove like I'm a good mom and like, just stupid things that shouldn't matter, but like also, his breed and like, I just want to be his good mommy, right? And his history and stuff like that. And so, um, so a lot of times, especially on the weekends, I'll take Buddy on a morning walk. Well, since I wasn't able to get out of the house and I needed to run some errands, and I like to go in the morning because there's less crowds, less people, et cetera, et cetera. It's just more peaceful. I wasn't able to, I was like, okay, well, let me go take him on a walk and then I'll take a shower and then I'll get ready and then I'll go out. And by the time I get out, it's going to be this certain time. You know what I mean? And so in my mind, I was about to go take him on a walk and I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to, someone else can take him on a walk, or I will go shopping and then I'll take him on a walk when I get home. Like I don't have to do it exactly at that time. Right. And I don't know, I'm just kind of proud that like I did it and I didn't make it into a big deal, right? It's like I'm still going to do it, or I still can do it. It's just not at that time. And um me like 2 months ago would have been like, okay, gotta take Buddy on a walk because I want to show everyone that I'm a good dog mommy, and Buddy's taken care of, and I don't even know who I'm proving this to, but you know what I mean? Because I haven't had a dog in so long. I've always had my cat babies and stuff. So and Buddy's just a different thing to take care of. And so I was just like, I gotta do this. And then I was like, you know what? No, like I need to get out of the house. I'm gonna go stir crazy. I'm going to go out. I'm going to run my errands. I'm going to have a fun day. I'm going to go to some stores I want to go to and get things done. And that's choosing me, right? Like that's not, you know, taking away the responsibility of Buddy. It's just saying, like, let me navigate that, right? And you have to do that in business. You have to do that in life. You have to do that spiritually. You have to be able to navigate and delegate things in order to continue on with your life and your journey, right? So, I don't know. And I can go more into all that concept, and maybe I will right now, but that's just not what I want to do right now. But yeah, so that's kind of like the ideas of picking me when I say like I'm choosing me, right? It's like small things like that, but that might be seen small to other people, but a big deal to me, right? So there you go. But yeah, so I don't know. So that's what I mean, I guess, when choosing me. And whatever you're choosing me is, maybe that stuff that I just mentioned is super easy and something you're used to, but maybe there's other things in your life that you intentionally need to do those things, right? Because I think sometimes with New Year's resolutions, it's like, I'm not going to eat carbs. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do things. And I think there's room for that. Like I mentioned, my other thing that I'm giving up for a few months or whatever, but I'm talking about things where you're trying to grow, right? Where you're just like, okay, This is an opportunity to practice delegation. This is an opportunity to manage my resources, whatever they may be, right? This is an opportunity, and treat yourself as a business, right? Your mental health is so needed, especially as more and more people get into the spiritual side of themselves. And I agree. I think Trisha Paytas said this, like more and more people are really getting more into a spiritual side, whatever that means for them, and getting into their own journey. And so as you do that more, you got to look at yourself as a business, right? Because you're working for the universe. And like it's like, okay, so it's like, and yes, that does include money, that includes mental health, that includes happiness, that includes your what work you want to prioritize, that includes so many different caveats. And you got to be able to delegate that. And sometimes there might be what you perceive as blockers, but that's just something you have to kind of maneuver, right? And so that is what I'm slowly trying to adjust to, and not, and I use the walking thing with Buddy because I think that's a great example for me, because my first thing was like, I have to take him on a walk right now because this will happen and this will happen and this will happen. And instead of panicking, right? And because I was frustrated, I was cooped up all week, instead of getting angry or lashing out or whatever the case may be, being like, I need to get out of the house. Like, I need me time where no one's asking me for anything. No one needs anything from me. Like, this is important. Instead of saying all that, I just was like, you know what? If whoever's, because like I said, there's other people in the house, can take him on a walk, and if they can't because they're managing their time, I will take him on a walk at noon, and Buddy will survive, the animals will survive, Kermie will survive, everyone will be fine, right? And so that's kind of an example of how I'm trying to like approach my 2026. So in my so pivoting to supernatural stuff, um I know I mentioned in a few videos ago about, or maybe the last video, about Buddy's toys on his bed being arranged in weird ways that seem intentional, not just like scattered on his bed, but like in shapes and like placements, I guess is the right word. And it happened twice again since then. And so now I'm kind of feeling like I'm getting played on a trick, whether it's supernatural or not, and it's Kermie or something. But Kermie says it's not him, so I gotta believe him. And but one time it happened after the cleaning people left, and I'm like, I doubt they're like placing his toys in that way. I don't know. I'll put pictures up here of how I'm finding his toys, but unless Buddy is like neurotic, which I mean maybe, and likes to place his toys like that, but it's really weird. And he won't, like, he has a lot of toys, but for some reason he's not touching the ones that seem to be like positioned that way. I don't know. The whole thing's weird. Yeah, so I will throw pictures up there. I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting pranked or this is actually like supernatural. So maybe it's a combination of both. I don't know. I will keep you updated on that. My boyfriend just popped in his head and said, "It's not him." Okay. Well, anyway, so that's still going on. I will keep you updated on Buddy's toys being weird. All right. So I do want to end this video. I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about today. Um, about true crime updates. Obviously, I've been following the Tepe case. Like I said in my previous video, it looks like Michael McKee, who was Monique's Tepe's ex, is now in custody. And so he just waived his extradition hearing in Illinois. And so he's expected to be sent back to Ohio to face charges. And so he's not going to be fighting any transfers. Um, and then the date for that transfer or transport is not yet set. Um, so if you're new to this case, a wife and a husband were found murdered in their home from, I think it was from, they were presumed found murdered between 2 and 5 in the morning. In their home, there was no signs of forcible break-in. And yeah, so they and their 2 young children were in the home. Thank goodness they were unharmed physically, but obviously, I believe one of them is one and the other is four. And so obviously that's, you know, I don't know how you could do that to anybody, let alone someone with those babies in the house. But so he is basically had his hearing the other day. I don't really know, maybe it was just the extradition hearing. I don't think he pled anything guilty or non-guilty from my understanding yet. But they did have a news briefing that I saw briefly. They were talking about the deaths of Spencer and Monique are being investigated as domestic violence related target attack. So it didn't seem like it was money motivated. It seems like it was domestic violence, which is strange because she's been married to Dr. Tepe for 5 years now, I believe. So it's been a while since that relationship ended. So obviously that man definitely has issues, to say the least. Multiple weapons were seized from the suspect's property in Illinois. One of those weapons have preliminary ballistic link to the murders. So it seems like he had several weapons. Now, keep in mind, Michael McGee is a doctor. So he's definitely someone that, has high standing in the community, money, resources, and things like that. Um, so I guess it just proves that jealousy can come in all forms, no matter what your place in society is. And also, feeling like certain things and certain people are owed to you. Um, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. And like I said, they weren't recently divorced. So this is a little, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the right words for it, but I hope people understand what I'm trying to say. And the funny thing is, he had to drive like, I think it was like 6 hours. He's out of state to them. So he had to drive quite a bit uh, to murder them. But I think it was like one of those things where it was like a combination of, and this is all just pure speculation. Like I said, I'm not hardcore following the case. I don't know anything. Like I'm just totally speculating. Um, I kind of wonder if it was like one of those things that was just like burning him up and burning up, and then one night he was just like F it and just drove in a fit of rage or whatever the 6 miles, and then just kept, or 6 hours, and just kept building himself and building himself up, because there had to be quite a bit of evidence um for them to arrest him that quickly. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I picture it, where it's just like something was in the back of the head that he wanted to do, and then something happened, and or something didn't happen. He just got angry enough, and then just angrily plowed to the streets and confronted them, and there you go. So I don't know. I don't know if it could be money related because of the divorce. Like I said, the divorce was quite a while ago, and they all seemed pretty financially stable just based on their careers, both husbands. So, and they didn't have any kids. She didn't have any kids with Michael. So yeah, I don't know. I just, and it's so sad because it seems like obviously it must have been an abusive relationship to begin with, and she found a better guy and moved on with her life, started a family, and then he still came back to haunt her. So I don't know. It's terrifying. Terrifying. Um, but that's the update on that. So I don't know what he's gonna plea. Like I said, I don't, from what I'm reading in the news, I don't think he entered a plea yet. I think they have to wait to extradite him fully, but I'll be interesting to see what he's gonna plea. It sounds like they have a mountain of evidence. Like when I watched the conference briefly, it seemed like the detectives and the chief and everything that were are pretty confident in their case. So we shall see, but it doesn't seem like this type of guy. I don't know. He seems pretty full of himself. So I wouldn't be surprised if he pled not guilty, but at the same time, I don't know. It seems pretty cut and dry. Alrighty. Okay, never mind. He actually pled guilty. I don't know how I missed that, but in his meeting, I think it was on Monday, about the extradition trial, he pled not guilty. So I was wrong about that. I don't know how I missed that, but yeah, he pled not guilty. So we will see. This will be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be something. I think I'm in shock because I checked like a couple sources and I'm like, are you sure about that? But yeah, he pled not guilty. So it'll be interesting. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm like shocked, but not shocked, I guess, because he seems very arrogant. So I don't know. This will be interesting. I'll be wondering if he's going to change his mind later on. But yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. I just double checked it, and yeah, I'm glad I did. Alrighty, so now I'm going to close this out. Okay, so I'm going to post this. I don't know when. Maybe just today. I started it yesterday. But buttsies. I said buttsies. Okay. Um, buttsies is wanting attention, so I want to go give him some. But I make me pee. I know. Mom loves you. Um, he really wants to the bed. He cannot come on the bed. My cat Kitty is on the bed, so that would not be good. But Um, yeah, so I think that's it. I'm going to close it out. I don't think I have anything else I want to discuss, but I hope everyone is doing good, enjoying the start of the year. I keep saying last year for, or this year for 2025. So I'm trying to get into I don't know, by the time it's freaking, it'll be like March by the time I'm like used to like thinking 2026 is this year. And then it'll be 2027 before you know it. So there we go. um, but other than that, I hope everyone's doing good. Thank you for watching. And as always, stay curious and stay tuned into the supernatural. Thanks for watching.